Hi there, my name is Pemi T, and Pemi T wouldn't be fair if she allowed this lady to leave Parliament without getting her flowers. Now, this particular lady is one that has made me so proud on several occasions of being a South African. She has proven to be an intellect, not only an intellect, but she is really against bullying of other countries. She's been vocal when it comes to human rights within South Africa, the democracy of people, people's rights in South Africa, and people's rights outside of South Africa. She has represented South Africa on so many occasions. She has put us on the map, especially with the latest being that international court issue with Israel, between Israel and Palestine. I think time and time again, whichever side, whichever way you use this lady to be on the attack, she does such an immaculate job, and she always puts South Africa right there in the spotlight in a good way. I want to give my compliments, my big shout out, my big hugs and kisses to this particular lady. As you can tell, I am more than fond of this lady. I can compliment her all day. I would even need to think, with my Begitele English, I would need to think of other words that I need to throw in there just to compliment this lady. Please listen to her. Just listen to her speak.
1994, it was post-apartheid. It was the first time ever that we voted. This is our 7th election. And I think what we're seeing now is that we're sustaining democracy and that we continue to strengthen freedom in South Africa, which is extremely important. The people of South Africa are participating in our democracy. It is really showing the world that we have embraced the constitutional democracy, and particularly the rights that are outlined in the Bill of Rights of the Constitution of South Africa. So I regard it, yes, as every election is important, and I believe that we will have significant, well, that is my hope, participation by the voting public of South Africa. I think it's important that every person who is registered to vote does so, because it's a duty, essentially. We've said government by the people, chosen by the people, and that's what we want to see, a real commitment and active participation by the public of South Africa in choosing who should govern our country.
Naledi Pandor is a lady of note. She listens before she answers. When she answers, she's very calm, and she answers exactly what has been asked of her. Now, I know many of our politicians that sometimes tend to not listen to the question properly. The reason that I say that is because, judging from their response, it's like they didn't really hear what the question was. And many politicians, when they answer what they've been asked, they're usually very defensive. It's like they're expecting to be attacked. They're expecting the question to be something which is of attack. And sometimes not all journalists, not all people that are interviewing you are really attacking you. But because you are so used to, maybe should I say, bad publicity or bad, that you are always in attack mode. I find most politicians have that problem. They have a problem of listening properly to what this person is asking you, and then calming down, answer what this person is asking, but in a very calm and understandable manner, so that the target audience or whoever is going to be listening to what you're saying can also understand what your response was. Now, Naledi is a person I could listen to all day. Many will say, oh no, it's not really about Naledi. You probably just like her English. Yes, her English is very polished, very well polished English, but it's not even about her English. It's about the things she says. It's about what she represents, what she believes in. Naledi is one of those women who can proudly and boldly say something and stand by what she has said, no matter what.
But in terms of our interaction with some of our partners in Europe and elsewhere, there has been a sense of a patronizing bullying toward you choose this or else. When we believe in freedom, as I'm saying, it's freedom for everybody. You can't say because Africa is doing this, you will then be punished by the United States. So it is important that all of us accept our ability to hold different opinions. We are, after all, sovereign nations that are regarded as equal in terms of the United Nations Charter. We may differ in terms of economic power and economic ability to influence development in different parts of the world, but what will make the world work is if we respect each other.
Now, how on earth can you not love such a person? How on earth can you not have a soft spot for someone who is able to and who does not fear facing matters and directing matters for what they are? Like someone who calls a spade in a very clean and clear manner, but also showing respect to whoever they are addressing. So she's not barking like, she's getting her point across, but in a very clean and clear, but respectful manner. Now we know the biggest thing, or one of the many biggest things that Naledi has trended for was that case with Israel and Palestine. What can we do? Because we know that the Palestinians also, they were struggling to get trucks that were coming into Palestine, that were giving the people food. We know that when it came to food, the trucks that were meant to go and deliver food to the Palestinians was struggling with getting into Palestine. They were she also came up with suggestions.
Here's my proposal. Those powerful armed forces of the world should be instructed by their presidents or prime ministers that they will go to the Rafah border and their soldiers will escort all those trucks into Gaza and the West Bank. And since these are very close friends of Israel, surely they will be allowed safe passage. I can't imagine them being fired upon by the Israeli forces. This, it seems to me, is the only way that we might get aid in, because otherwise it will be a trickle, more children will starve, more babies will be born with very serious harm.
I'd like you to take a moment just to listen to this interview that Naledi Pandor had. I want you to listen to the way the interviewer addresses her and the way she responds to the interviewer.
Naledi Pandor, thank you very much. And we must start off by saying you've done a sterling job in raising awareness around the Palestinian cause, not just locally but globally. And you've become a voice that people resonate with and people relate to. Thank you very much indeed. Minister, looking at the ICJ ruling, and despite that the bombing has not stopped, and despite that the atrocities continue, and the plea and the plight of the Palestinian people fall on deaf ears, what does this say of Western humanity and the concept of human rights, despite going to the highest court, Minister?
Well, I think I would be very, very wary of saying all Western people support what leaders in countries in the West are doing. The fact that we've seen so many kufirs being worn in the North indicates that the ordinary person actually understands that this is immoral and that it should be combated. So I believe that what has happened is the world is beginning to wake up. And what South Africa must not do is pause in this effort we've undertaken and ensure that throughout the world we're working with civil society to alert them, to call on them to continue to act. I've been speaking to many groups. I've said campaign, 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 protest, protest, protest. We know the countries that are supplying arms to Israel.
Now, last but not least, I'd like you to listen to something said by Naledi and give me your opinion on it. Give me your opinion on this one video, this last video that I want you to listen to. And tell me, what are your thoughts about Naledi Pandor?
You may say Oliver Tambo was not your leader, but today you are free because of Oliver Tambo. You may say Walter Sisulu was not your leader, but today you enjoy freedom because of Walter Sisulu. So whether or not you support him, he's part of your history. He's part of your being. And it is those leaders that traveled from country to country and said, we are South Africans. We are oppressed by a system of racial discrimination called apartheid. We need your help in solidarity to assist us to wage our struggle for freedom. Country to country to country. And many, many countries said, we will support you in whatever way we can.